This is Note Taking Guide 5.2 for Math 1. Today we're going to do a little bit more with functions. We're going to add them and subtract them together. So if you notice up here at the top, here's my functions. I have f of x, c of x, and g of x. What we're going to do is we're going to just use those functions up top in order to do what it asked me to do. So right here on this first problem, it says find f of x and add it to c of x. So I'm going to take my f of x function, which is 2x plus 4, and I'm going to add that to my c of x function. My c of x function is this one right here, the 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. Now I like to try to stack my stuff together, so I'm going to rewrite this one so I can leave myself a little bit more room over there. So I'm going to go 2x plus 4. And then the 3x squared doesn't combine with the 2x or the 4, so I'm going to write it out front. But then do you see how that made it so that my x's, my minus 5x and my 2x would add straight together? They're lined up on top of each other. And then my plus 2 is lined up with my 4. I like to line them up like that so I can just add straight down. If you see, there's nothing to combine with the 3x squared, so I'm just 3x squared. Then I can add those ones straight down to get a minus 3x, and then add these two together to get 6. And I've added those two functions together just by stacking them on top of each other and adding straight down. So that's just kind of the way that I like to do it. Okay. This next one says take g of x and subtract f of x. Now subtraction is a little bit tricky because we need to make sure that we subtract the entire function. So that's like we're going to subtract the f of x function. So that's like taking a negative through this entire function. So when I subtract it, I'm going to write the minus 2x and the minus 4 when I write it down, because that means I already took that subtraction sign through the whole thing. So I'm going to take my g of x, which is x squared minus 2x plus 4, and I'm going to subtract my 2x minus 4 from it. So again, I already took my negative through up here for my subtraction so that now I can add these straight down and get my solution. So adding those straight down, there's nothing to combine with the x squared. A minus 2x and a minus 2x make a minus 4x. And a plus 4 and a minus 4 cancel each other out. So this is my solution right here. All right, this next section is written a little bit different, but it means the same thing. It means to take f of 2 and add it to c of 2. So I can take f of 2. I'm going to go 2x plus 4, and I'm going to put 2 in there. And I'm going to get 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So this first part is going to be 8, and I have to add it to my second part, which is put in c of 2. So I'm going to go 3x squared minus 5x plus 2, and I'm going to put 2 through that number. So 3 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2 plus 2. And I'm just going to plug that in on my calculator and let my calculator do the work on that. And when I did, I got the number 4. So now I'm going to do 8 plus 4, because that's what I was supposed to do with those two values, was add them together. So I get 8 plus 4, and my answer is going to be 12. Okay. You can totally do it that way. You could have also done it the opposite way too, meaning you could have combined those terms together first, and then you could have substituted the number 2 in. So let me show you what I'm talking about in a different direction. So let's say I add f and c together first. So f is 2x plus 4, and c is 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. I combine those together to get 3x squared minus 3x plus 6. And then I can substitute the 2 into it. So 3 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2 plus 6. And when I figure that out on my calculator, I should get the same thing that I did before. And I did. I got the number 12. So either way you do it, it's fine. because on these functions are, with addition, are commutative, which means you can do them in either order. Okay, this next one says find g of 4 and then c of 4 and add them together. So g of 4 and c of 4, add them together. You can either add the functions together first and then substitute it in, or you can find g of 4 and then c of 4 and add those together. I think I'm just going to sub in right here. So I'm going to go 4 squared minus 2 times 4 plus 4, and I'm going to get that number. That's into my g function. So this comes out as 12. And now I got to do it one more time because I need to do it, the number 4 through my c function. My c function would be 3 times 4 squared minus 5 times 4 plus 2. And that one gives me 30. So I have 12 plus 30, which is the number 42 for my solution. Okay, this is c of -1 minus f of -1. So I think I'm going to actually subtract c and f first together, so I don't have a problem doing that. So c is 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. And f, I got to subtract it, so I'm going to change the sign on it and have it be negative 2x and negative 4, just like I did up here. That's like subtracting it. When I combine those together, I get 3x squared minus 7x minus 2. And now I can substitute a -1 into that. So I'm going to just write it over here with the -1 in it. I'm going to go 3 times -1 squared minus 7 times -1 minus 2. So 3 times -1 squared minus 7 times -1 minus 2. And when I do that, I get the number 8 for my answer. So I'm just going to erase this. Seems I ran out of room over here. And I'm just going to write my number 8 answer over here. All right, the last one is f of 8 plus g of 8. So we can do f and g added together first and then plug 8 through them, which I think is what I'm going to do. So f is 2x plus 4, and g is x squared minus 2x plus 4. So when I add those together, I get x squared. The 2 x's in the middle cancel, so x squared plus 8. And now I just need to put the number 8 through that. So I'm going to go 8 squared plus 8. So 8 squared is 64. 64 plus 8 is 72. So my solution is 72. All right, that's how we do functions. Combining them with addition and substituting into them.